finally got my hands on a BMW R1300 GS with the dynamic ride height, which is important for me. I'm a shorty, so I really wanted to test this particular bike. The one I managed to get my hands on is behind me there. It's a trophy edition, which is actually my favorite color scheme. It's got heated seats, heated grips, which are excellent today because it's about 5 degrees. This bike is courtesy of Marshall Grimsby Motorrad. Fantastic little dealership, very friendly folks there in sales and service. Hopefully you'll find the video helpful. If you do, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
So I think BMW's aim with the 1300 GS was to make it more sporty than the 1250 GS and appeal to younger market and riders coming from road bikes. It certainly feels a little bit more like a sort of street fighter with a fairing, and similar to the F900 that I've already reviewed elsewhere, in that you ride on the bike rather than in it. Definitely feels slightly sportier to ride. A lot more sporty than the 1200 GS. But I guess what BMW are trying to do is force the hardened 1250 GS riders to do is buy the 1300 GSA, which is out now. And actually it looks a lot better in the flesh than early pictures would show. I've seen it and it looks quite good, especially the trophy colour scheme. But I do like the trophy colour scheme. So, I've ridden this now for about 40 miles and getting used to it already. A lot of the switch gear is very familiar. Couple of differences: start switch, different place. There's the I think it's called the donut button, isn't it? Something like that. I can't remember what people call it now, but it looks okay. I mean, it takes a bit of getting used to. I wouldn't like to play with this sort of thing on twisties or road where you need to concentrate, but certainly on a motorway or, you know, long straight A roads, that sort of thing where you've got time, much better. And of course this has got adaptive cruise as well, so far less chance of you running into the back of something because you're fiddling around with some electronics on the bike, which again, purists would say just not have the electronics and ride the bike. And I kind of agree with them. For this sort of riding, there's probably too much in the line of trickery and distraction. I've adjusted the screen once when I got on the bike, and it's quite a small screen, but as I'm quite a small rider, I suppose, I've managed to find a nice sheltered position behind it, and the wind protection is very good. So quite pleased about that. The nav is the nav, my old nav 6, which works, right, so I'll leave it on until it stops working. Seems to be doing its business. Instrument displays, all BMW standard, very familiar to any TFT owning 1250 riders, so no big deal there. The riding position, I've already mentioned, a bit more sporty than the 1250 GS. This bike has the adaptive suspension, but it's also got the standard height saddle, so it's a little higher than my bike, even at a standstill. I guess with the lower saddle option on it, it will be very similar to the low option GS 1250. It's certainly not intimidating, although it does feel its weight, and it leans further on the side stand than my bike does, certainly. So it's a bit of a hike to get it off the side stand. If you were, you know, 6-stone weakling, you really struggle with it. Bike has shift assist, quick shifter, known to most people. I think BMW don't call it a quick shifter because you can't shift very quickly with it. I've just shifted 2 gears there with a quick shift or with a shift assist, and it's fine. Down on lower gears, I'll show you in a second if I get the opportunity to do that. It's still a bit clunky. Certainly on my 1250 with a shift assist, I wouldn't bother with anything below third, just to use the clutch. This bike, I think you can get down to second. I've tried it and it's not too bad. So there's nothing behind me at the moment. Speed right off. Oops, use the clutch by accident. There you go, so that's second. And a blipper, I'm in neutral now. So, back up to second. There we go, that's the standard sort of jerk you get between third and fourth. Second and third, I should say. So, not cured, it's better than my bike. This one's only done about 700 miles, so not at all ridden in, and I believe that the shift assist learns rider habits. So the more you use it, the more it gets used to you and how you shift, and the smoother those shifts become, I believe. Of course, if you take it in for a complete software dump, then that all has to start again, unfortunately. But yeah. Sounds good. I don't know if you can hear that. This bike comes with a dynamic package, so it's got all the riding modes that you'd normally expect. I got rid of mine. I'll certainly have to think about what to do about luggage. I've got the 3 Varia boxes, which I actually think are quite good. Certainly for road touring, there are no issues with those. But I know they've had some problems with the luggage on this. And if you buy the 2 boxes and the top box, I think it's about 14 or 1500 quid. So they're not cheap. And if they don't close or don't lock on or fall off or whatever's wrong with them at the moment, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? So I think by now there are plenty of aftermarket options, and a lot of people seem to prefer to go for the soft luggage now. Again, making it a little bit more of a sports bike on the road. Right, 35 miles range. I better head up towards a fuel station. Fortunately, we've got quite a nice road to ride on to get there. The roads aren't great today, so I'm going to keep it in road mode. Keep it off the throttle as well. There's a lot of dirt, mud on the roads. It was freezing cold last night, so shaded areas might still have some ice even. So it's not my bike. Even if it was my bike, I wouldn't be taking any risks. So just take it nice and easy. As you'd expect, the bike feels absolutely rock solid on the road. Good wind protection, feels quite sporty. I'd say it ticks all the boxes personally. If I didn't already have a 2-year-old 1250 GS with most of the toys that this has on it, I'd be quite interested in this, I think. I bought my 1250 when the 1300 had just been introduced, on the basis that the 1250 was completely developed, as good as it was ever going to get, whereas the 1300 was a new bike. The only horror stories I've heard about the 1300 have been about the luggage, to be fair. So I've got quite a lot of money in my bike at the moment, and it would be a little bit cavalier to go and buy a 1300 just on the basis I like the colour scheme. So yeah, probably won't buy it today, but you never know. You never know. Life's for living, isn't it? The heated seat's so good I've had to turn it off. And I'll be honest with you, I've never ridden with a heated seat before. It was interesting when I was on setting number 1, and it was quite warm. I mean, it does, as people have said, it feels like you've wet your pants, and yeah, I agree. Very strange feeling. When it was really cold earlier on this morning though, yeah, happy days. Setting 3. Heated grips are similar, but again, much more variation in settings than on my bike, which has only got off 1 and 2. And I know some of you are going to point out that that's a software thing and it can be amended, but yeah, I haven't got a GS 911, and I'm not sure a GS 911 will work on here. Actually, that'd be interesting to know for upgradability. And that's the other thing about the 1250, isn't it? If you've got one already and you've accessorized it, and you take all those accessories off, you can't put them on the 1300 mainly. Whereas the 1200 to 1250 you could, and even the newer 1250 models. So if your bike is blinged, unfortunately, you're gonna have to sell all the bling on eBay or Facebook or to me. No, you're definitely gonna have to get rid of the bling there. What's going on here? Very close. On plan B now. Quite a nice little village here. This is the village of Rugby in Lincolnshire, and I want to say gateway to the Wolds, but there's some nice roads leading out of Rugby. This one to Louth, Cadwell Parkway is quite pleasant, and the other road goes out to Horncastle, again, nice road. Although today it's covered in mud. Crap. Yep. Let's take it easy along here, because I don't know what I'm going to encounter. Whatever it is going to be probably big, green and have yellow wheels. Tyres on this bike are the Tourance Next, which I've never ridden before. Feel pretty confidence inspiring even in the cold. So most tyres are pretty switched on now as far as performance in the cold and the wet go. But, bike also has blind spot monitoring, which I've never had before on a motorcycle. I don't think I've had it on a car actually. It appears to work. A couple of times I've seen it pop on, but to be honest, I've been riding on this sort of road most of the time on the bike, and you don't often get cars coming up alongside you. So on quite a good A road now. Just put the bike into dynamic mode, just see how she handles and feels. Already the throttle response is sharper. Feels like the handling's tighter as well, but it could be in my head. It's the problem. You put a bike in dynamic mode and suddenly you ride a bit harder and you think it's the bike. Probably just you. Fun's going to be over in a minute when I catch this van. There we are. I'm a learner. There you go. Yeah, definitely better throttle response in dynamic, and handling feels a bit sharp. I'm not sure if that's changed. I imagine the spring damping has changed a little bit. Ooh, 19 miles. I think I'm going to have to refuel in Louth. It's not very far, so that's not too bad. How are you, mate? Thank you very much. So what I have noticed on the dash is that it shows you where the suspension is, which is quite cool. If you look at the bottom of the dashboard under the speed, there's a symbol, the motorcycle, and the A indicating automatic, and it's in the raised position at the moment. I've been assured that the bike raises and lowers at about 15 miles an hour. I did notice it on one little slow down. You might notice it on the video, but it's definitely unnoticeable as you feel the bike riding. You don't notice it at all when you're riding it. I guess it's reassuring to know that it's low before you put your foot down, especially at my height. It's nice to know that your foot's going to arrive at the ground and not have another 2 inches to travel and the bike fall over. There we go, there it is, look at that, whey! Although, that car isn't actually a problem. It wasn't my blind spot, I could see him, but there we are. The system works, kind of. Here we are on Standard A Road. I'm not sure it's a noisy road, or the bike's particularly noisy right now. Seems a little bit. So let me have a play with the windscreen height. So to do that, we need to press the hamburger button, and then we go down to windscreen, and we press OK. And now I can use the up and down button. There we go. That's as high as it goes. I think this is a small windscreen because it's the trophy variant, and that's as low as it goes. And to be honest, that's actually pretty windy. So get up till it disappears. Yeah, very civilized. So coming to the end of the video now. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will try and produce some more content as soon as the weather gets better. In the meantime, keep it shiny side up. Enjoy the riding, like and subscribe. Thank you.